这个，等一下啦。Okay, go.
One day the scientists looked around and saw the rivers were very dirty and that there was less fish to catch. They also noticed that there's fewer birds and dragonflies, and that the trees were starting to die with fear of the rain. They couldn't find what had causing the trouble problem, but they noticed something else was missing: the beavers. So scientists decided to study. Scientists decided to study how the beavers live. How beavers live, so that they can bring them back to the rivers. Wherever beavers live, they make big changes to nature. In fact, the only creature who affects nature more like humans. However, unlike humans, the changes that beavers make are good for the other animals and plants around them. Once a beaver finds an empty spot on the stream, on the stream or river, it builds a dam. As soon as the dam was built, the land upstream began to fill with water. The extra water changes the land behind the dam into a wetland. Wetland is a wide area of mud and water, and wetland and are very important habitats. In fact, over half of North America's endangered species needed wetland to survive. Wetlands to survive. Once a beaver makes its dam, it takes care to make sure the water level around the dam stays high. The beaver does this to protect its home, but it also protects nature. The dam slows down the river, which helps make the water clear. And instead of the river carrying good soil away to the ocean, the dam keeps the soil in the forest. Even beavers cut down trees to make them dams. They actually help the trees to grow. Beavers' favorite trees for eating and building are cutting wood and expense. Both of these trees make 100 of babies. These trees each year. Every year. However, if all the baby trees lived, they would accidentally eventually get too crowded and they'll all die with fear of the and they all will die
为什么？它为什么 over 带？因为
太挤了。
对，来把它。
And they all die with fear of the sun because no rain came.
Okay.
But when the beavers takes out some of the trees, it gives the rest more room to grow. This keeps the forest. It helps keep the forest healthy. Beavers eat only plants, and this makes its other animal friends happy. The wetland created by a beaver dams gives otter, mink, muskrats, deers, bears, dragonflies, turtles, frogs, and ducks, and a lot of other birds a place to grow and hunt, like eagles. The reason scientists couldn't find fish or dragonflies for birds is that the beavers weren't building their dams. Even though beavers keep the river clean, the trees growing, and the other animals live alive. Many people get angry with beavers when dams make wetlands. Sometimes they ruin the farmer's field or flood a road. Some dams make it hard for fish to travel in the streams. But when people try to trap beavers to take them away, a new beaver always moving. So the scientists are studying ways to help beavers and humans live together, so we can make changes that will be good for nature.
Okay.